This is CNN Breaking News.
And this is just minutes old. Justin, to CNN, Secretary of State John Kerry announced the U.S. and Russia have agreed on a plan for Syria to give up those chemical weapons.
CNN senior international correspondent Matthew Chance in Geneva right now. Okay, Matthew, what have you learned about this plan?
Well, very fast developments here taking place in Geneva, with a joint press conference being given over the course of the past few minutes by John Kerry, US Secretary of State, and his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. They've agreed a substantial number of measures, it seems, on how best Syria's chemical weapons can be placed under international control and ultimately destroyed. They've agreed, first of all, this is a big sticking point, on the amount of chemical weapons that were in the control of Syria. It's got one of the biggest stockpiles of chemical weapons in the world. There were different assessments by the Russians and the United States about how much needed to be taken away from Syria. They've come to an agreement on that. They've also come to an agreement, crucially, on a timeline, because there were lots of concerns, particularly in the United States and other countries, its allies, that this would be used as a delaying tactic. This whole process of disarmament would be used as a delaying tactic to Syria to buy itself time. They've brought forward the timeline. Usually it's about 30 days that, for instance, a country has to declare its stockpiles and its production facilities. That's been reduced down to a week. They've also said that they've called upon all parties in Syria, but particularly the government, according to John Kerry of Syria, to provide immediate and unfettered access to inspectors, because once the list of all the chemical weapons stockpiles has been submitted, that has to be verified by international inspectors, by UN inspectors. We're going to see those inspectors, according to this announcement, on the ground in Syria no later than November. They've also adopted extraordinary measures, because normally, of course, the complex and technical task of getting rid of chemical weapons can take not just many months, but many years. They've brought that forward. They say they reserve the right to take chemical weapons out of the country of Syria to be destroyed elsewhere if they deem that necessary to do. Now, of course, there is the issue of consequences. That was the big roadblock all along, whether there would be any serious military consequences for Syria's non-compliance. It seems that in the event of non-compliance, it would be referred to the Security Council to debate what consequences there would be. Let's take a listen now to what John Kerry had to say, speaking to reporters here in Geneva.
We have reached a shared assessment of the amount and type of chemical weapons possessed by the Assad regime, and we are committed to the rapid assumption of control by the international community of those weapons.
There you are. So that was John Kerry there saying that some agreement has been made with Russia. They don't always see eye to eye, of course, Russia and the United States. But on this issue, today, they appear to be speaking with one voice.
All right, Matthew Chance in Geneva on the breaking news of the agreement between Secretary of State Kerry and Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov of Russia. Thank you.